Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Makakadash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them. They taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, tabernacle of David, to the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. 144,001 third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you all as well. I'm going to start right here, Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, this is the EU. I would name them, that's a different lesson. Thee shall hate the whore. Who's the whore? America. Babylon the Great. And shall make her desolate and naked, right? Going to expose her. And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay? They're going to shoot them missiles. EU going to shoot them missiles over here. Okay? Remember that. This is Open-Minded Thinker, and this is the World War III Daily Update. 23 minutes ago. Okay? I didn't watch all of this. I watched enough to play it, whether it be true or not, and you figure it out, spit out the bones, and, look at it with a spiritual eye. Right? And I'll intervene. Here we go. Take it away.
Marks a significant diplomatic move.
Salakia.
The European Union.
Again.
In what marks a significant diplomatic move, the European Union, EU, has called on Israel to adhere to the International Criminal Court, ICC, directives or face severe consequences.
Okay, now let me quickly say, this particular video is about the EU against Israel. But Israel and America are tied together at the hip. All right? It's not Israel that's doing that fighting over there. It's the whore. Where are the weapons and the money coming from? And if you think there ain't our soldiers, mercenaries, you call it what you want to. There are people from Babylon the Great fighting over there, and I mean fighting in the fight that you're not being told about. Oh, they'll call them mercenaries, they'll call them Blackwater, they'll call them whatever you want to, but guess who's over there? Go check the forward advisors in Vietnam. Check out and see what the hell they were doing, right?
Including the potential loss of critical interstate agreements and funding. This comes in the wake of what has been described as one of the deadliest attacks on Rafah, despite ICC preliminary injunctions prohibiting any military incursion into Gaza's sole remaining humanitarian enclave. The attack has intensified international pressure on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government as more civilian casualties are uncovered in the aftermath. Several EU member states, including Norway, Ireland, and Spain, are advocating for a complete severance of ties with Israel until it upholds its democratic obligations to protect civilians and respect international law. The foreign ministers of these nations have jointly condemned Israel's actions and called for immediate and profound measures against what they describe as Israel's recalcitrant behavior and disregard for the principles of war. Joseph Borrell says it all.
The acts of the European Union to the ruling of the International Court of Justice that has been issued today, which is going to be our position. We will have to choose between our support to the international institution and the rule of law or our support to Israel.
So even though it's taken forever, right, for these countries to finally put a stop to this, they're slowly going to do it, and they're slowly going to turn on Israel and the whore, which is the U.S., but because we know that because it says it in the scriptures, right? We just read that they're going to burn her with fire. So what we're watching now is we're watching them reconsider their direction. Now they have to turn because what's happening is abominable. And Israel is doing it, and the U.S. is funding it. So they're in cahoots. So here we are.
To Israel. And both things is going to be quite difficult to make compatible.
During a recent press conference, these ministers urged other European nations to abandon their hypocrisy and take a definitive stand by recognizing the establishment of a Palestinian state. They emphasized the necessity of an immediate ceasefire, arguing that the ongoing conflict is unsustainable following the relentless bombardment of civilian areas by Israeli jets.
We have to robustly defend and uphold the independence of the International Court of Justice and indeed the ICC. And I think this is a moment in time in global affairs where the essential centrality, if you like, of these institutions must be upheld and their independence. And it has been a tendency of Israel to undermine UN institutions, but also to undermine the international humanitarian legal system. And the court's ruling is binding. It's extremely important that we stand up for the independence of the court and support the court in this vital matter.
Can I just add one reflection which I think is essential here, which is that there is a perception in large parts of the world of double standards, that rules are applied to some but not everybody. I think that critique is founded on some realities, and I understand why that perception has been created. And that perception undermines the credibility of the international legal system in general. So it's a serious problem for all of us, because the impression created is that these norms are not does not apply to everybody, and many.
This is the crux of the situation. What he has the audacity to let come out of his mouth, right? This is what Netanyahu would say. You have the audacity to let that come out of your mouth. What? The truth. This is the truth of the whole matter. The rules don't apply to the Israelis, but they apply to everybody. You got what? You're an you're an anti-Hamite. Anti-Hamitic. You're an anti-Hamitic.
Legal system in general.
Listen to what he's saying. He's saying we have to stop letting these guys get away with everything nobody else gets away with. You can't be the only one that's above the law. How dare you say that, sir?
Is founded on
Salakia, right here.
standards that rules are applied to some but not everybody. I think that critique is founded on some realities.
And you can see how scared he is even trying to say it. You know you're putting your life in danger.
I understand why that perception has been created, and that perception undermines the credibility of the international legal system in general.
Absolutely.
So it's a serious problem for all of us, because the impression created is that these norms are not does not apply to everybody, and many people will say that they do not apply to anyone. So I think this is also standing up for the principles that we have agreed to in the world. Remember, the International Court of Justice is everybody's court. The ICC is 124 countries, but the International Court of Justice is the principal organ of the UN. Every member of the UN is bound by the decision of the International Court of Justice.
Yesterday's bombing is one more day with innocent Palestinian civilians being killed. This stresses what we have been calling the three of us, our three countries, for a long time, that it's an immediate ceasefire. But the gravity is even larger because it comes after a decision taken by the International Court of Justice that, once again, I want to recall, that are binding and compulsory for all parties. They are for Israel, that is calling.
I'm going to tell you what, them rules don't mean a damn thing right now. And unless you get the posse together and go stop that shit over there, they don't mean a damn thing. So you can let that
panels or any other off.
You can let that bullshit go. You ain't fooling nobody. Either you be about it or it's all coming apart. Salakia.
Calling to stop this attack on Rafah. I think that this time
Rafah.
we have to raise our voice not only for an immediate ceasefire, but also to back international law and the United Nations Charter. I want to recall that the International Court of Justice is a founding body of the United Nations Charter. We are going to have a Foreign Affairs Council of Ministers of Foreign Affairs of European Union, and I'm going to ask the other 26 partners to declare the backing to the ICJ, to its decision, and also if Israel continues to pursue against that opinion of the International Court of Justice, that we try to take the right measure to enforce that decision and to back one of the most important bodies of the UN Charter.
Woo! So you see the consensus coming together. All right, let me skip up to here in the interest of time and see what else they're trying to
Agreements
say.
are common, such as the EU's criticism of new settlement constructions in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and its support for the 2004 International Court of Justice ruling against the separation wall. EU member states have also openly criticized Israel's military operations, including the 2009 ground assault during Operation Cast Lead in the Gaza Strip. The EU might also contemplate a strategic shift in its trade policy with Israel, leveraging its economic influence to push for compliance with international law and support the Palestinians' right to self-determination. This move aims to pressure Israel into respecting international standards and could significantly impact the long-standing economic ties between the two entities. Trade between the EU and Israel operates under the framework of the Association Agreement, making the EU...
Yeah. There's a genocide going on. I'm sorry. Trade this. Stop the genocide. All right, so what's going on? Things are, coming to a head, right? And what we know is going to happen, right? Is more of this, okay? More the EU saying, look, we can't fuck with you. Are you making us all look bad out here, right? And the only outcome of all of this is nuclear annihilation. So stop now, right? That's what they're trying to say. What am I? Those. They that eat thy bread. Obadiah 1 and 7. Because when it comes down to it, like the Pike Massini papers say, this war is against Esau and Ishmael, right? Get right down to it. But this is Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So you're gone, Babylon, Edom. Okay? Here's who wins, right? Who wins? All the men of thy confederacy have brought them. Who is the war between, according to Massini and Pike? Ishmael and Esau. They call it Zionism and blah, 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 blah. But the war in the spirit is Esau. See how Esau will be pillaged, right? Let's talk about Esau, all the men of thy confederacy. And who are they fighting against? Well, Salaki, give me a moment. Where's my... I gotta clean this thing up. Things have changed. Let's see. Yep. Let's go to Damn, did I forget? Where was I going? Gosh, drew a blank right there. Slovakia. One realm. Let's see. Where was I? How was I going to get out? Let's see. What were we talking about here? We were talking about, let's see, where were we? Did we get that? Not Revelation. Not Bible scan. Let's see. I forgot where I was going, so. They're all gonna turn. The EU is gonna turn on Babylon and fire their missiles. Did I get that? I think I did. Let's see. Kind of lost my train of thought, so I'm just gonna get out and say that what we're watching is a pivotal point. All right. Because a little more war is going to go. World War III has to start in earnest, but what we see with this is these nations already beginning to turn on Babylon and Israel, right? Because they're looking crazy out here, right? Everybody's looking crazy, all right? And something must be done. So let's see. Let's get did I read that? Let me go back to that. It was Obadiah 1 and 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Then I went into Pike Messini. What was it? Is that where I was going? Oh, I know where I was going. Salakia, Ishmael, 15, right? I know where I was going. Okay, who's going to win? That's where we were. Salakia. I drew a complete brain fart. Who's going to win? And then, right here. Let me just give some context. Behold a horrible vision. This is 2nd Ezra 15:28. Behold a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of what? Arabia, the Arabs, who are the Ishmaelites. That's who's going to win. Shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Persians or the Iranians, right, raging with wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyrians. They're setting that up right now in America, right? They're running up on generals and shit. They're here. And here's the answer to who's going to win. And then shall the who? Dragon. What dragon? These dragons. The dragons of Arabia. The Arabs. The Ishmaelites. The Arabs are going to do what? Then shall the dragons have the upper hand. The Most High is controlling this thing. remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then shall these be troubled, the ops, and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. Who won? And from the land of Assyrians, and it's going to whoop. They're going to whoop ass right here too. All right. So it's pretty easy when you have the playbook. Who's telling you who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Well, we went over that. Go watch yesterday's. If you want to see that, watch yesterday's explanation of who's going to win on the World War III Daily Update, right? Because there are 10 FEMA zones and 10 zip codes right here in Babylon the Great. All right. So anyway, with that, sorry for droning on. We hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and few sisters. Shalom.